The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Brian Ankney with AutoSuccess magazine. Today I have the pleasure of introducing to you Tim James, and we're going to have fun with this webinar. Today Tim is going to really help give you some really good ways to create walk-around videos that don't suck. I'm sure a lot of you on the phone right now or on the webinar, you probably came today because you probably have tried to make walk-around videos and have probably not been happy with the results. I'd probably say that's safe to say for just about everybody that's tried to do it. And so today, hopefully, at the end of this webinar, you'll be equipped with the knowledge that it takes to start creating better webinar or better walk-around videos. A couple of things I'd like to mention to you before we get started is if you look to the right side of your on the Go to Webinar pane that's on everybody's screen, we're going to utilize two functions today of that. One of them is the chat function. One of them is the question function. At a couple points during the webinar today, Tim is going to ask for a little feedback from everybody that's on the webinar. And for feedback, we're going to use the chat function because we've got hundreds of people on here, and if we use the question function for the answers, it's going to be really hard to make sure we don't miss any questions. So if you could please just make a note, when we ask you the questions, please use the chat function. That way we can see all your answers and interact with you, but it'll keep the question function reserved for strictly questions. Now questions, as the webinar goes, please type in any questions that you have. Oftentimes the questions are answered in a later piece of the presentation, so we're going to hold the questions till the end. But as you have come up with questions, please type them into the question function. And one last piece of laundry before we get rolling here is if you have a technical issue, you are welcome to text message me at 513-520-1238, or you can use the chat function for that. And with that, I would like to introduce Tim James. Tim, take it away, my friend.
Well, thank you very much, Brian, and thank you everyone who is taking time out of their day to join me here today. I'm seeing a lot of the names on here of folks that are joining us. We've got a great crowd. We've got a lot to talk about, so I'm going to try to keep things moving along as quickly as possible. I know everybody's probably as anxious as I am to get back to work, so I'll try to not jump around too much, try to keep us focused, and let's jump right into it. So, what Brian was just talking about, with a lot of people trying to shoot walk-arounds and not having a lot of great success. That's the number one. If we can take anything home from us, though, there's probably a good handful of you on the call who are doing a great job with your walk-arounds right now, and another good portion of you who you've tried it, you've shot a few for various reasons, whatever those might be. You've kind of abandoned the process. It's still on your mind, or maybe it's just something you've been curious about and you haven't tried it yet. But no matter which category you're in, those of you that are on the call that are doing a great job with them, I'm sure would agree with and tell everyone else on the call, the number one thing you can do to shoot walk-around videos that don't suck is practice. So you're not gonna be great the first time. You're not going to be a rock star the first time. I'm going to show you some examples of some folks that are doing a wonderful job throughout the webinar, and it's not their first rodeo. They've some of the folks, some of the examples that you're going to see, these guys have been doing walk-arounds for 5, probably close to 10 years now. It's not something that's new to them, and you can tell by their presentation. So you're going to get better. You just got to keep practicing. You got to keep watching your videos and looking for areas to improve, and then focusing on improving. So that's the number one thing, is don't give up. Just keep practicing. You will get better over time, and hopefully some of the other things that we're going to talk about throughout the webinar will help you move in that direction. So as we're talking about walk-around videos there's really only two main types of videos that you can shoot. One's for your inventory. These are going to go on your vehicle display pages for your website. They're going to be distributed to AutoTrader or Cars.com or any third-party marketing partner where you have photos and a description. You're going to have your walk-around video as well. And then the other would be personalized walk-arounds, where it's a one-off. You're shooting a walk-around video because a lead, someone who's inquired about a particular vehicle, has asked specific questions, and you want to wow them. You want to answer them with that personalized walk-around and really make them feel special. So let's start with the inventory walk-around. Again, these are the merchandising layer for your VDP pages. I talk to a lot of dealerships. I read a lot of blogs out there with people talking about the walk-around videos for their VDP pages, and you know, I don't know why we continue to hear these questions from other dealerships asking, you know, do these things really work? Are they really worth the effort? It seems to be a lot of time involved in shooting these walk-around videos, and there seems to be a lot of elements involved. You know, it's hot outside, it's cold outside, it's raining, it's snowing. Man, I got a lot of cars. How do I keep up? Do I shoot one for every car? Do I just shoot one for new? Do I just shoot them for used? You know, all kinds of different variables that go into the equation, and for whatever reason, we let these variables prohibit us from, like Nike says, just doing it. So I'll be the first to tell you, I analyze data from walk-arounds and have for years, and I'm telling you, there's not a reason big enough to not do it. I don't care what the reason, the obstacle that you have in your mind that might be preventing you, especially for today's shopper. There just is no reason that's big enough that should be preventing you from shooting individual personalized, individual walk-around videos for your inventory. Now, for the dealerships that are shooting the walk-around videos, they average around an 80 to 85% completion rate. So that's a pretty big deal. If you're ever curious to know if your video is good or not, then all you simply have to do is look at your completion rate. If the shoppers are starting to watch your video and then they're dropping off real quickly, obviously you know your video is not that good. Your content, whatever it might be, is not the type of content that the shopper was looking for, or just is not, you're not delivering the content to them the way meeting their expectation, the way they thought they were going to receive it. So they drop off. You might have a 25-35% completion rate. If you're just way off, if it's just a bad video, you might be in the 50-60% completion rate. To give you an idea of how this compares, those stitch photo videos, slideshow videos, they carry a 70-75% completion rate. So the shoppers definitely do like live, real, actual walk-arounds more than they like the slideshows. But then we'll also see some dealerships that are doing the walk-around videos, and we look at the completion rate, it's down in the 60-65%. And I go to check out some of their work to see what's going on, and man, the video's just jumpy. It's bouncing all around. You can't hear the person talking. There's all these loud noises going on behind them, or they're just talking too soft and you can't hear them at all. It's just a bad video, and it's reflected in the completion rate. And then you have some that are even above that carry a 90-95% completion rate, and those are for people who are just doing a phenomenal job. They're very energetic and entertaining and informational all at the same time, and really giving just a great quality presentation to the individual shopper. But the completion rate is your tell-all when it comes to whether a shopper likes my video or not. Overall engagement we see for the live walk-around for an inventory video jumps 600% versus a VDP page that doesn't have a video on it. So that's a pretty big deal. That's the difference between you know, a 30-35% boost in leads. And that's generally what we hear, and this is one of those times to use your chat box over there. Generally what, when I'm doing a live presentation, a seminar, I ask my audience, you know, tell me, for those of you in the audience that are shooting individual walk-around videos for your inventory, for your VDP pages, for your website and your third parties, you know, put in the chat box what your percentage is. I have them raise their hand, and I have them tell me what their percentages are. And generally, I hear 30-35% increase in leads once they add the actual live video walkarounds. So, you know, just a quick poll, if you will. You know, if you're doing them, what's your percentage? 10%, 20%, zero, negative? Do they go the other way? How many additional leads do you get out there?
Hey Tim,
Brian,
one thing I need to let everybody know real quick. It seems like a lot of our people have an issue with the chat. So I'll go ahead and clean up the questions after this. Why don't everybody? This is Brian. Please go to chat. Amanda, I appreciate that information, Amanda. Thank you. But please don't use chat. Use questions right now to answer Tim's question. Tim, if you may want to restate the question.
Yeah. So if you currently are shooting individual walkarounds for your inventory that display on your VDP pages and get distributed to, you know, your various marketing partners, have you seen an increase in leads? And if so, what percentage? You know, is it 1%, 5%, 10%? Generally, when I'm doing a live seminar and I ask the audience, for the handful of the audience that are doing individual walkarounds for their inventory, generally I hear 30-35% increase in leads. But I'm curious as to our audience here today. So Brian will tally those up, and I'll keep moving on as y'all are typing and he's tallying. You know, I don't know how many of you saw the the Google report, Think with Google, 5 moments that every brand, automotive brand, needs to master. It's a really good article, and as you're reading through that, you'll notice that it's really not any information that we don't already know in terms of there's a buying cycle. You have high funnel shoppers, you have low funnel shoppers, and depending on where the shopper is in that funnel, the different type of content is what's needed to motivate that shopper to move to the next part of the funnel. So we've known this, you know, since the first day of time, and it's really not, you know, the fact that there is a funnel and that the shopper moves through the process isn't something that was new to us. But what I found really interesting out of that report was how influential video is in that process today. This was the shoppers. This was Google polling people who have recently purchased a vehicle and getting feedback from them throughout the entire buying cycle as to what various things motivated them, and then of course then analyzing their database and putting it all together for this report. If you haven't seen it, Google it. Go out and pull it up, have a good look. There's a lot of good information in there for you. But basically, they identified the 3 types of video that had the most influence on the shopper were test drive videos, videos that had features and options of a vehicle, and walkthroughs, which are basically the types of videos that we're talking today. Now, you do have higher level model test drive videos that are extremely important in the buying cycle, as in addition to the individual inventory walkarounds. But we're going to focus on the individual inventory, particularly because Google also says that the search for, from this same report, the search for inventory was the fastest growing part of all video. It's going more than 4 times faster than overall automotive search interest in general. So the shoppers that are out there, that bouncing around the internet in the various parts of the buying cycle, are looking for inventory data or inventory information, content, and they prefer that content be delivered to them via a video. Now, where they're going to see that video, where they're going to see that inventory contents on your VDP page. And unfortunately, your VDP page these days probably looks like 10 other dealers' VDP page out there. So if I'm a shopper and I'm trying to determine not just which vehicle I want, but which dealership I want to do business with as part of the process, it's going to be very difficult for me to make that decision based off of just what I see on the VDP page, unless one of those dealers was really doing something to stand out and present themselves, not just the car, but present themselves to me differently. I was having a conversation just yesterday with someone who had spent the weekend shopping for a car, and it was really funny, so relevant to the fact that I was going to be giving a webinar on the topic the very next day. They were telling me that as they were looking at various dealers' websites and going on the VDP page, that what they were determining wasn't just, do I like the car, but the content that the dealership was using to present it to them, basically telling them the story of what kind of dealership they're looking at. Is this a dealer that really cares? Are they really trying to earn my business? Are they really taking the time to really merchandise this vehicle to me in the way I want it, the way I need it, that's going to answer all my questions and give me all the information I need? Because I'm using that to judge on how they would take care of me, if they're a dealership that I would even want to do business with or not. So, and that is true of the consumer today. The video, or really just the overall content on your VDP page, isn't just about the car. This is representation of your dealership as a whole. And if you're not doing something to go above and beyond, to be different, to stand out to the shopper that's bouncing from VDP page to VDP page to VDP page and seeing the same thing from everybody else, then not only are you not getting them informationally and emotionally attached to your car, you're not getting that shopper emotionally attached to your dealership. So opportunities lost for you to really sell them on why your value propositions and why they should do business with you before you ever even had the chance. So it's that important to really take the time. Does it take a little bit of extra time to shoot a video of a car than to snap a picture? Well, it depends on how many pictures you're taking, really, but the short answer is yeah. It does take a little bit longer to shoot a video, especially if you're shooting videos and shooting images, if you have the same person doing it. But for today's shopper, it's no longer a want. It's an expectation. And as more and more dealerships out there, I'm telling you, there was a day not only a couple of years ago when live videos that were hosted on our platform we had to search to find them. There was so few and far between. And today, the live videos from the dealerships out there around the country that are shooting live videos for their inventory, today it's the biggest part of our platform. There's more live video on our platform than there is stitch photo slideshow videos, and it's growing. It's by far the fastest growing part of our business at the same time. So if you're not already investing in a live video process, which I know a lot of you on the call are, but if some of you on the call are still just curious, still just thinking about it, this isn't the future. This is what's not only happening now, this is what's been happening for the last few years. We're moving from the innovator, early adapter stage to where this is now this is the norm. This is what the early majority is going to be doing in the immediate future. When doing the videos, there's really 4 main styles of live walkarounds, inventory walkarounds that you can do. One of them is called the Spokesperson Style. Now, you know, the folks, the videos that I'm going to show you, these are just videos that, you know, I randomly went out and grabbed. It's the purpose. We're going to really look at the style and then talk about some of the things that that's going well and some of the things that we can improve on with each one. So as we look at the spokesperson style, you know, here's one
hey
example.
Everyone, Suzanne here. What do you thought of Meta Group in Chillicothe, Missouri?
Now also let me you know, say we're watching a video over GoToMeeting, so I don't know how this is going to look on your side. You know, on my side, everything's running smooth and you know, crisp and clear. I don't know how well you can hear the audio, so I've got my speakers turned up, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it pretty well.
Great. The highest rated dealership in Middle America, and you can learn why by going to over2000reviews.com. So if you were in the market for a very equipped truck that gives you off.
So one of the great, you know, one of the really good things I liked about this particular video is they really start off with a good value proposition, selling the dealership. When your sales team, I don't know how many of them on the call are actively sell at the same time as work in the internet or marketing department, but your sales team will tell you the first day of training, when you're new to the automotive industry, the first thing they teach you is sell the dealership, sell yourself, sell the car. So when a shopper walks onto your lot, you don't just immediately jump in and start trying to sell that shopper this car or that car or this car or that car. You sell the dealership first. You sell them on why they can trust you, why they want to do business with you. Then you sell them on yourself and why you can trust me to help you find the best car that is going to be right for you. I'm going to take care of you, and then you sell them on the car. So she does a really good job at jumping right into that at the beginning.
As you say, it's a really nice, just stone white in color. You have that nice clear coat on there to really just bring out the shine. You have massive projector headlamps with LED accent lamps just surrounding them, fog lamps underneath, 2 assist hooks, and a very nice chrome grille at the front. So as you make over to your side, you do have these 18-inch polished aluminum wheels, a lot of tread life left on the tires. You do have your 4-wheel drive badging above that. So if you have that 5.2 V8 engine, you do have pedal lamps as well as turn signal indicators in your mirrors and chrome running boards to assist you into this vehicle to make your entrance very comfortable.
Now, we're not going to watch the whole 3-minute plus of the video, but we're going to move on to the next one. But you'll notice that there's not just a, you know, it's not just a listing of features. It's not just this car has this, this car has this, this car has this, this car has this. There's a lot of this car has this, and here's why you need it. This car has this, and here's a feature, here's a benefit, here's a feature, here's a benefit. So your walk around, a good walk around that doesn't suck, isn't just going to rattle off features. You're going to give what we're trained from day one in sales and marketing, and that's feature benefit, and of course we're not going to leave out the close. You know, that you need to have plenty of closing statements throughout your video as well.
Spring is in the air. You know what that means? It's wagon season. Hey, I'm Ken Beam from Douglas Volkswagen. Let me show you an exceptional buy for a 2008 VW Passat Comfort Wagon. And look at this sports car. Black on black, with 27,000 low miles. It's CFC, Carfax clean. Let's review the rest of this one. Come on. Okay, here we're outside this beautiful Passat. Let's check it out. First off, the black leatherette seats are immaculate. No rips, no tears. Heck, for that matter, it doesn't look like anyone ever sat in these seats. And one thing that I really appreciate when I'm looking at a pre-owned vehicle is the fact that it's a non-smoker's car. I don't have anything against smokers, but I don't smoke, so I don't like that. There's no strange odor, no strange smells whatsoever in this car. We have our 6-speed Porsche-designed Tiptronic transmission. You can put it in the Passat and drive, or throw it to the right and shift this manually. A lot of fun to drive. As I said, it's also the DSG transmission, which means you have the paddle shifters on the steering wheel. You can shift on the fly right here. A lot of fun to drive. Gives you the feeling of a manual transmission minus the clutch.
So again, I'm not going to watch the, you know, it's a 4-minute video. We're not going to go through the entire thing, but you know, Ken there at Douglas Volkswagen, he's been doing live walkarounds for, you know, I don't know, 5+ years, 6+ years, probably bordering on 9 or 10. He's been doing it a long time. He's you know, he does a really good job of what we were just talking about before, and it's not just about feature. It's feature benefit. He does a great job about talking about the Carfax and Clean One Owner. You know, you'll hear him talk, do a great job about really selling the benefits of certified pre-owned when it's a certified pre-owned vehicle. So it takes time, it takes practice to continue to improve your skill set at not just focusing on, you know, reading off a list of options, but really working in and selling that shopper that's watching, the viewer that's watching that video, on why those things should be important to them. Here's another style. Those were again, I call it spokesperson style. You've got someone else working the camera. I don't have to worry about working the camera. All I have to worry about is talking and selling the car. Then you've got the individual style.
It's a beautiful day here at Gibson Truck World. I got this amazing 2015 looking clean Ford F-150 XLT Crew Cab. You get that V8 5.0 liter. Ford muscle, 302 horsepower. Microsoft Sync, keyless entry, lock, tilt, cruise, steering wheel controls, power windows, mirrors, door locks. Wow, Black Beauty is ready to ride. Check out this keyless entry right here, guys. Just tap in a code. It's easy. Don't even need your keys. F-150 XLT actual goods, beautiful wheels, very beefy, very neat set of tires. Check out the hood. No scratches, no chips. Still under factory warranty. Check the description below. Carfax One owner. Look at that beautiful Ford grill. Fog lamps, tow hooks, hooking you up with a little style.
So in this style, you've got the person that's holding the camera, walking around the car, also talking about it, using a microphone to try to cut out as much background noise and whatnot. You know, again, it's not just reading off feature. It's selling it. You know, the Tim, the person shooting that video, the guy used to be a radio personality. He's got that dynamic personality, and you know, really cutting loose and you know, delivering a presentation like that is just natural for him. Today, you know, back in the days of you know, in his early years, it was something that had to be worked on, had to be improved, and it takes time and effort, repetition, to continue to improve yourself and get better, where you can just work on the fly like that. What I call a hybrid. This is where you don't have a person at the dealership like Ken or like Tim, and you still want to start making that move into the live video frenzy that's going on out there right now. These next two styles might be where you start out. It might be a better starting point for you, where you start with the hybrid, and that's where you have your photographer, whoever's taking your pictures right now, shoot the video. In a lot of cases, they can shoot the video instead of shooting photos, and you can just extract your images directly from the video. A lot of the dealerships out there doing that these days. Especially the high-quality cameras, the high-quality videos that are being shot, able to extract extremely good high-quality photos out of those. You've got the live video walk-around that can be used not just on all of your various touch points, but in your video emails and a lot of other things that we'll talk about later. But you know, you've got your starting point, and your shoppers that are watching online also get a little bit of the best of both worlds as well. And we do see a significant boost in both conversion rate and overall engagement versus no video, or versus a video slideshow stitch photo with the hybrid as well.
The RX 350 offers a driver-inspired design and intuitive technology that puts you in total control of your interior. Paired with a spacious cargo area and a powerful V6 engine, The RX 350 continues to offer the best combination of powerful performance and interior luxury in its class, and is priced below $45,000. This vehicle has less.
So that's an example of a hybrid. A lot of the photography companies are offering that type of a video as a service now. So if you use a photography company for your photographs, then you could hire them to shoot the video and have the automated audio on top of it. And then for your particular pieces of inventory that you do want to have a different audio on, have someone, maybe one of your salespeople, someone with a more dynamic personality. A lot of dealerships are outsourcing the audio in what we call the post-production audio. So they have their photographer shoot the video just like you've seen before. It starts with the automated audio track on it, and then someone else, they go to their local college and hire someone who's in the video department, or hire someone who's in the broadcasting and drama club or something along those lines, who have a very dynamic personality, or they go put an ad in Craigslist for voice talent and have somebody just sit in their house in the evening or whatnot for a couple bucks a car and redo the audios. And so here's an example of
It's a beautiful day here at Orlando Auto Lounge on the outskirts of I-4 between Lake Mary and Sanford lies the premier automobile dealership in Central Florida. We've got the best in sports and luxury pre-owned. We cherry pick the best and bring them to you. Today, Orlando Auto Lounge proudly presents this beautiful 2010 Mercedes-Benz E350 four-door sedan with that V6 3.5-liter muscle. You got 6-way power, leather seating with memory, cruise central power windows, hearing clock, power sliding roof, Harman Kardon CD and MP3 sound system with navigation. Got this James Bond technology backup camera with a screen, the driver's cab, smoke screen not included. Check out our Google reviews. We have the best Google reviews, high definition video. Guys, it's 2016. If dealers are only doing pictures, they got something to hide. They're photoshopping. These professional equipment go in and out of our vehicles, high definition. And we product you see online, same product you see.
for all of those of you that aren't doing video email or video walkarounds, and you're in the market with these guys, you land on the same, you land on the VDP, one of your shoppers lands on these guys' VDP, they just called you out. I don't know how well y'all could hear the audio, but, basically he just said, we go in and out of our cars with the high definition video camera, and if other dealers aren't going in and out of their cars with high definition, they may have something to hide. They're just taking pictures, make sure they're not photoshopped. We want to make sure that that the car you see online is the car you're going to see at our store. And, just really does a great job of selling the benefit of the video. So now not only is he selling the dealership, selling the reviews, selling the positive experience you're going to get at the store, then starts selling the various features of the car, and then works in selling the benefit, selling to the shopper, the person watching the car, of the video itself. So that's what shooting a good quality walk around is all about. You'll hear me say a lot of times, it's not just about the car, the video, and we'll talk about that again in just a second. Now, on the equipment side, it's simple. You probably already have a camera. You can use any kind of camera. You can use an iPhone. There's a lot of people out there just using iPhones or Androids. The cameras that are on those things these days are extremely high quality. You can shoot a great HD video with them. You can use any DSLR camera. You can use any quick shot camera or hot shot camera or whatever those things are called. You don't have to run out and go buy some fancy camera if you're getting ready to start this process and you don't already have one there at the store. Use what you already have. But then, work on getting to know the equipment, getting to know the exposure triangle. There's different settings on your cameras, and I'm not going to get into all of these with you right now, but there's different settings on your cameras that you can adjust so that you're getting a better video, better but non-pixelated. There are times you may be shooting a video and you look at it later and it looks all pixelated and you can't figure out why. It's, you know, it's the same. I haven't touched anything. The one I shot yesterday looked great, and it's probably because of the lighting and the different environment that you had one day versus the next. Your camera can be automatically adjusting various settings for you that, unfortunately, can dramatically change the quality of the video. So get to know your camera, get to know your equipment, try out different settings, no matter what camera you're using, and make sure that you understand. Do some Google searches on the exposure triangle and get to know it, and really know how to make the video that you're shooting just really pop off the page for you. And then use a stabilizer. I see videos all the time with people who aren't using a stabilizer, and a lot of them. I mean, there's been times I've made phone calls to a dealership and said, "Man, you need to just go back to stitch photo videos, because since you started shooting live video, I've seen your completion rate drop from the 75% you were getting with your stitch photos. You're down to 65% completion rate with these live videos." And if you're not going to invest in a stabilizer or a gimbal or something to improve the quality of that video, then you just need to just start taking pictures again and go back to stitch photo. Because the last thing a shopper wants to see when they click on that video button, they don't want to get seasick if your video's bouncing up and down and moving all over the place, and if it's just a bad experience, you will see it immediately reflected in that completion rate. And for such a small investment, I mean, there's stabilizers out there, $20 to $200. You do get what you pay for. So this isn't one of the times when you really want to save pennies. But we're talking about your number one most important merchandising layer here. This is where you spend all of your money for your SEO. You spend all your money on this website, and you don't spend all this money on a website just to have a site for fun. You spend all the money that you spend on your website to merchandise. You spend all the money that you spend on your SEO and SEM strategies to drive traffic back to that website for the purpose of merchandising your inventory. This is where you need to have the best merchandising layer for that piece of inventory that you can possibly have, and it's not a time when spending $200 to $500 to $1,000 for a nice gimbal should be an issue, because it could impact your leads, your conversion, your leads by thousands and thousands of dollars every month. So I've tried them both. There's a lot of good stabilizers out there that once you get to learn to use them, again, they're just like anything else. The first time you grab your stabilizer and you get your camera all balanced on there and you go out and start shooting videos, you're going to want to throw the thing. Be patient, slow down, keep practicing. You will get better at using the stabilizer. Same with the gimbal. Even though the gimbals are made to be a little more accurate, a little more efficient than the stabilizers, they got little motors in them that help do all the work. They still take some time to get used to, and it'll take some time. And they're not going to take all the bounce out of your video. They're going to help dramatically, but the most of the lower dollar, there are professional gimbals out there that go from $2,000 to $20,000 that are 4-axis, but most of the lower price ones are 3-axis, and the 1-axis that they don't really, that 4th axis that's missing is the one that would really control that bounce. But they will still impact the stabilization, the quality of that overall dramatically in the process. So this is where I recommend you go. Here at Flick Fusion, if we're shooting a video or we're doing something, We have this. We use the iCan DS1. Whoops. We use the iCan DS1. It's really easy to use, very easy to set up, or it's the Beholder DS1 right there. Very easy to set up. But there's tons of other ones out there. If you're using your iPhone or an Android, a GoPro, most of these other ones have adjusters, where you can buy an adapter, so one will work with a GoPro or an Android or an iPhone or any one of those. I'm not going to recommend one versus any of the others, but I would imagine that each one of them is going to do a great job for you. It's worth the investment. So especially if you are going to be extracting images from your video, you really want to make sure you have a good quality, smooth video, because that is what is directly proportionate to the quality of your photos. You can get amazing, you can get a photo that's just as crisp and clear with your video camera as extracted from your video as you can if you were using your regular camera, if you have a good quality, crisp, clear video. So you want to make sure you've got, you're doing the best possible video, smooth as possible for you while you're doing that. For the audio, it's really the easy part. Again, you can talk and shoot at the same time. In that scenario, try to control your environment as much as possible. Use a wireless mic. They're not huge investments either, but they can reduce the noise dramatically and really help in the overall presentation. A good one, probably a Shure, might run you around $300. But again, it's a one-time investment, and we're talking about the #1 most important merchandising merchandising feature that you have. So spend the $300, get you a good wireless mic. There's some that can probably be purchased as low as $29, $39, but you do get what you pay for. There's a big difference in quality between a $30 wireless mic and a $300 wireless mic. There's boom mics out there. Those, if you're using, if there's two of you, somebody else is running the camera and you're doing a spokesman style, then you can get a really good quality little boom mic for not much money at all, and it'll do a great job, and it'll reduce a lot of the noise too. So post-production, and the post-production audios can work at two different levels for you. One, as part of your strategy, and a lot of leaderships use all three of these strategies. They use the automated videos at first. They have their photographer or somebody who doesn't have that dynamic voice shoot the video. They had the automated audio on top of it, and then they come back and have somebody else reproduce the audio on some of the videos. Maybe not all of them. Maybe the ones that are a little more high dollar, a little more unique pieces of inventory, things of that nature, and then the rest of them they just keep out there. So you can do all three, but if you're out shooting your video, and after you're done, you think, oh man, I forgot to say something, or oh man, I really wanted to talk about this, or I really wanted to talk about that, or you listen to it later and you're like, oh, I can't believe I said that. Yeah, I need to fix that. Look, you don't have to run back out to your car and shoot another video altogether. There's tons of tools out there you can use. They're not expensive. Pull the video up, you rip the current audio file off, you add you watch the video play so that you see exactly what what the video you shot before. You talk about it just like the one you heard, the post-production video you heard there. You talk about the various features as you see them. You make sure you say the things you wanted to say. Make sure you don't say the other things you didn't want to say. It takes a lot less time to add that post-production audio layer and fix that video than it would take you to just go out and shoot a whole new video altogether. Plus, you get to do it from inside, so you don't have to worry about it being hot outside, cold outside, rain and snow, and all those other fun things. It's another great tool for using videos in walkarounds. So I know that's the next part of the conversation we're about to have. but you know, it's another great aspect. Instead of going out and shooting a new video of the same car for every customer that inquires about it, you can take the existing video and just re-record a personalized audio message over it and save yourself a lot of time, significant amount of time, versus having to go out and shoot a new one every time. So some quick tips. Be informative without question. You want to talk about the unique features of every vehicle. That's what the shopper wants to hear. Especially if we're talking about new cars, you know, a lot of people, you know, as we've been in the business for a while, we look out on the lot, we see all the new cars, and to us, they're all the same. You know, this car is the same as that car. There's no difference in them. Why do I need the individual video for each one of them? Well, if there's even a $1 difference in the price of that car, your shopper needs to know why. That's a big difference to the shoppers that are out there, and to the shoppers, every car is unique. They are not all the same, and it's our job to help explain to them with information why they're different. But then we have to deliver that information with emotion, because emotion sells. Emotion is what's going to get the shopper emotionally attached to that vehicle, and that's the name of the game. If you can take one thing home with you regarding what this big thing is all about, why you even have a website to begin with, what merchandising that inventory is all about, it's getting a shopper emotionally attached to a car. It's that simple. Now, most of us, when you look at your VDP pages, and they're the same as all the other VDP pages out there, and we try to just load them up with information, and then we sit back and cross our fingers and hope that we have the exact car that that shopper's looking for. Instead of taking the time and investing the resources that we need to the emotional presentation of each and every vehicle, so that when the shopper comes to our VDP page, we make sure the shopper wants one of the cars we have. That's the difference. The shopper hoping that we have the vehicle the shopper wants, versus making the shopper want one of the cars we have. And that's what a good quality emotional video presentation of that car is going to do. So I asked the question earlier, Brian, I don't know if you had a chance to tally up some of the percentages on, for those of you that were doing this, what impact is it having? Are you seeing?
You know, actually, Tim, we didn't have any responses to that question, but we do have quite a few other questions. Yeah, we didn't have, no one responded with a percentage to that, but I do have a whole heck of a lot of other questions for you though when we get to the end.
No worries. Again, I can just tell you from probably easily 20, 25 presentations that I've given regarding, you know, in a room full of people, the numbers been consistently the same for the last 5, 6 years since I've been giving them, and that's you know, that they see an immediate, not something that takes 3, 6, 12 months to start realizing. They see an immediate 30 to 35% increase in leads. So, and it's because of this. It's because of getting a shopper emotionally attached to a car and making the shopper go, wow, that's the one. That's the one, right there. This is it. Which is going to be very difficult to do with just a bunch of pictures and words on paper. So include, if it is a certified pre-owned, include your CPO information. If it's Carfax, if you have a Carfax on it, you know it's a clean status, make sure you talk about it. If it is a one odor or a non-smoker, make sure you talk about those things. If we're talking about a used car and it's been through reconditioning and it's had any you know, anything, new tires added to it, it's you know, had this aftermarket feature added to it as a new car, or you know, been you know, buffed up in any form or way, make sure you really talk about those additional features and really sell them. Include your dealership's unique selling part. This is a great opportunity. You don't always have control of what data you could put on those VDP pages, especially now, you know, we're talking about your website VDP pages, but now, you know, if you look at, you've also got a VDP page over here at AutoTrader, you've got one over here at Cars.com, you've got a VDP page here and here, and you don't have the ability to put a lot of value proposition data on those other touch points, but you can say them in your video. So now when the shopper clicks on those videos on all those other touch points, you get to sell your dealership at the same time you're selling the car. Don't mention time-sensitive data. You know, you don't want to mention the price, because the price can change. You don't want to mention exact miles, because miles can change. Little things like that, the things that might be time-sensitive and can change from day to day, to week, to month to month. Leave those parts out, but you can still add them on the video as an overlay on the video and still get that information out there. And most importantly, pay attention to your completion rate. So the completion rate is what it's all about. Now, the examples I showed you, most of those videos were 3+ minutes long. I don't know if y'all noticed that. And we hear all the time, oh, your video's got to be short. It's got to be 30 seconds. It's got to be a minute or less. And again, I analyze these numbers all the time. And there's a lot of logic to why, you know, to a video being short. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of logic to, you know, if a video, the shorter the video, the more likely it is you're going to have a higher completion rate. True that. But I'm telling you right now, those videos that you were watching in these examples with 3+ minute videos, those guys are carrying 80, 85, one of them a 90% completion rate. The shoppers are watching 3.5 minutes worth of videos on those cars, because not only is it informative, it's entertaining, it's informational and emotional. And if you can deliver that, the shopper, you're going to keep that shopper engaged on that video longer. So don't be so caught up into, I've got to keep my video at a minute or less. Be more caught up into, I need to give information and I need to deliver it emotionally. I need to sell what, but I need to sell why, as you're talking about that, as you're talking about each car. And then look at your completion rates. Watch them. See if you're getting, you know, the average. See if you're getting 80, 85%. If you're not, what can we adjust? What can we do differently to try to improve that completion rate? A good bar for you is the stitch photo video. You know, I know a lot of you, I hear, you know, all the time people saying, ah, well, you know, we don't like those stitch photo videos things. Those things don't work, and this, that, and the other. But that's a good bar for you, because whether you like them or not, the shopper likes them. And if you're not going to shoot an actual walk-around video, you better start there. You better start by at least having the stitch photo video, because it's not just about the video, first of all. But secondly, the shoppers will tell you by your completion rate that it's better than nothing. The shoppers will tell you by the average time on site that it's not just about the video, that they like it better than not having one. And the shoppers will tell you by the number of leads that you get that they prefer having a visual presentation. You know, that's one of the arguments. Well, it's just the same photos and data that's already on the VDP page. You're right. Absolutely it is. It is the exact same photos and it's the exact same information that's already there on the site. The difference is how you're presenting it. And guess what? Your live video walk-around's the same thing. All it is a bunch of photos. They're moving faster, so it's running 30 frames a second in the video, but it's just a bunch of photos, and all you're doing is saying the same thing, talking about the same data that's on your VDP pages. But it's how you're delivering. It's the visual impact. And even a video slideshow will deliver a significantly greater visual impact than having the static photos and the static the static text on a VDP page. But you also get the data, not just from your website. You get the data from all the touch points. Any touch point that that video's at, when somebody clicks to watch it, no matter what touch point it is, somebody clicks to watch it, you get the data. And that's a big deal when it comes to video. That's probably one of the most overlooked values of video, period, is the data and what you can do with it. So what I mean by that is, first and foremost, you can use all that data. Doesn't matter what kind of video it is, even if it's one of your value proposition or testimonial videos. You can use that data and you can run marketing and remarketing campaigns on your own videos. You can use that data to integrate your sales and marketing promotions that you have going on into your videos and get them on touch points, get those marketing messages on touch points that you couldn't get them on before. You can use that data to improve the relevancy of the message of that video based upon an individual shopper. So you know that shopper has watched this video on this touch point, and this video on this touch point, and this video on this touch point. You know every video an individual shopper has watched, even if you don't know them by name yet. You know that that shopper's watched these, and based on those behaviors, you can create campaigns. You can have campaigns that throw up various messages via your own videos, so that it's a more relevant communication that you're having. And you can take all of that data and pull it back to your CRM, so that when that shopper does call you and you send them a video email, walk around, which we're going to talk about in a second, or you send them, they fill out a form and on your website, and now you've got their data, their information, then you can match it all up and know that Joe Smith, the person who's on the phone with you right now, is also the person that 3 minutes ago was watching this video on AutoTrader. A week and a half ago, he watched these 2 videos over on Cars.com. So that's an example. We know that another way to use it is, we know that half the shoppers out there today are showrooming from a competitor's lot. So they get on their phone, they're about to make a purchase decision. They're visiting a dealership. It's not you. They're over at your competitor, but you've got your competitor geo-targeted. So when they jump on their phone and they want to look at that video email that you sent to them just one last time, or they want to go to your website and check out the car they were looking at there just one last time, see what it compared, see how it compared, see what that price was, and they click that video, then boom, right there in real time, you can throw up some kind of a last chance offer to them right on top of your video. You can send that data back to your CRM, so you get an alert letting you know that your lead, Joe Smith, is over at ABC dealership watching this video of this car on this touch point right this second. So it doesn't matter if it's a stitch photo video, it doesn't matter if it's a testimonial video, it doesn't matter what video it is. That it's not just about the video, it's about the data you can get from having your videos out on all these various touch points. So that's that visibility needs to be a big part of your strategy. A video that doesn't get seen, I don't care how much time and money you just invested into all this equipment to shoot your video, and going out and you spent 5, 10, 20 minutes, whatever it is, producing that video content for that car. If it's not seen, it's worthless. You've got to get visibility on that video. Sure, your goal is to get it on your website, and that's great. But then what? What if you could get that video on tons of other touch points? You want to make sure your strategy, wherever you're hosting that video, makes it possible for you to easily. You don't want to get into the game where you're spending all of your time shooting all this great video content, and then you're spending just as much time adding and deleting video content from various touch points. Use a host, use a marketing partner. There's several of them out there besides me that will automate all of this for you, so that you can, all you got to do is shoot the video. Boom, you shoot the video content, you click the upload button, and you're done. you go on to the next vehicle. Then that video automatically goes to all of your websites that it needs to go to. It goes to all of your marketing touch points. It's available for your video emails with the click of a button. It can be on Facebook for you. It can be sent over to YouTube to get VSEO value on your YouTube network as well. It can be integrated so that your website is getting the VSEO value. You spend all this money on VSEO for your or SEO for your website, and you throw a fit to your website company because you're not getting enough traffic, organic Google traffic coming in for these keywords and those keywords, and then you go and host a video on YouTube and put that video on your website, and now it's invisible. That page of your website's not visible to Google anymore because your video from YouTube has already claimed the SEO meta tags and the SEO value that's associated with that video. So when somebody's doing a search for those keywords on Google, it shows your video shows up and they engage it and they go to YouTube. And you cross your fingers and you hope that they then engage the YouTube video and come to your website. Well, why don't you just rank your page? If you're self-hosting your videos yourself or using a third-party host, then you can, that page that your video's on is what's going to be indexed on Google. They're still going to see a video there. They're still going to show, so Google's still going to show that there's a video content available, except for when somebody clicks on it, it's going to go to that page of your website. So you cut out your middleman. I have a blog. This presentation is going to be available. Brian, I'm sure Brian will talk about it at the end where you can message him and have this sent to you. I'm not going to get into all the details of what I'm talking about strategy-wise, but I wrote a blog about it not long ago, and I have a link for you here that you can click and go to it and learn more about what I'm talking about. But there's a lot of advantages that you can get by self-hosting or using a third-party host that lets you own the SEO value of your videos to put those videos on your website, send those videos to autotradercars.com and all your other touch points versus using your YouTube video. So with that being said, you can also use a landing page. So here's a great example of a dealership. Now they're just using stitch photo videos, but you'll also see when somebody's on their, the shopper's gone to the VDP page of their website and they click the, click here to watch a video button, then just a little video player isn't what opens up. They've got an entire landing page where they are also selling the dealership. They've got their value proposition video on there. They've got some you can trust us videos. They've got some some customers saying, hey, you can trust them. We had a great experience. You should too. And by combining these additional videos, I mean, that VDP page is valuable real estate that very few website companies are going to let you have video control over, so you couldn't get this video content on them if you wanted to. But if you use a video landing page for your videos versus just the regular video player, then you can. Now you've got the shopper with your inventory, piece of inventory video right there, and they've got their additional, your additional selling yourself, selling the dealership videos right there in support. And you're making it easy for the shopper to move to the next stage of the funnel, and that's, man, I do really like this car, but can I trust this dealership? Can I trust this store? And you don't have to go search to try to find the content. It's right there for them. It's right there in one spot, and by making it easy, they're going to be more likely to engage it, and if they're more likely to engage it, they're going to be more likely to ultimately start trusting you and moving one step closer to actually picking up the phone and calling you or filling out that form or whatever it might be. So use a landing page. It's another huge tip and can play a huge role in getting eyeballs on your other videos because, again, it's another webinar all in and of itself, but you can throw this information. A lot of people host these videos on YouTube and they put them on one spot or two spots here or there on the website, and that's it. They're not seen anywhere else. And they wonder why they only get 17 views on them. But if you get them out there and get them visible, get them distributed to some of these other touch points, because it's part of the video presentation that's being sent. Then you get a lot more eyeballs. So I know we're pressing time. I'm going to try to hurry here to get everybody back to work. But now let's talk real quick about the personalized walkarounds. And again, I know nobody used the chat button before, but I'll ask the question again. If you're currently using personalized walkaround videos, what is your what has it done to your re-engagement rate? You know, you have a certain re-engagement rate. Shopper calls you, a shopper sends in a form, and you call them, you have a conversation with them, and then you hang up the phone, you click send on your email, and then you're done. You never hear from them again. You know, the average dealership out there only has about half of their initial contacts ever re-engage. Well, dealerships that are using personalized walk-around videos, in that whether it's after they've had a phone call with them or communicated with that initial email, sending that personalized walk-around video really makes that shopper feel special. There are a lot of dealerships out there doing it, but it's still a small percentage compared to everybody else out there in the market. So it's a great way to still really differentiate yourself, make yourself stand out, shoot that personalized walk-around. If you're shooting them, what has your re-engagement rate been? For the dealerships that, when I'm doing my conferences and I ask the questions, you know, who's doing them, I get a handful of folks that raise their hand. We talk about their effectiveness, and then it always comes back up, you know, all the same reasons. Well, I don't do them as much as I used to. I know the re-engagement was through the roof, but I don't do them as much as I used to because, you know, in the wintertime, man, it's just really cold, and all the cars are covered with snow anyway, and there's all these reasons why you don't want to do it, or you stop doing it. Yeah, it's, you know, it gets really hot. I try to get more selective. I don't want to do them for every lead, just because, you know, it takes so much time to go out there, and, you know, you got to check out the keys, you got to go find the car on the lot, you got to pull it out, shoot the video, park the car back in the row, come back in, check in the keys, you know, so on and so on and so on. And of course, there's mobile apps that can, you know, make it easy to hit upload and text it to them or email it to them right then. But you still got to come back inside and turn in the keys. And if you don't use a mobile app, you got to upload the video to somewhere and grab the URL and send it, and so on and so on and so on. So it's effective. You know, the feedback that I get is that there's generally around a 35% increase in re-engagement. And that's huge. We're talking the difference in, you know, an additional 5 or 10 appointments set for you every month. With the appointment show rate increasing dramatically as well. So it has an immediate, again, it's not one of those things. It doesn't take 3, 6, 12 months for you to start seeing the impact. It has an immediate impact on some very crucial KPIs for you. And yeah, it takes a little bit of additional time to do, but these, you know, if you can increase your re-engagement rate so that instead of 50%, you're getting 65, 70% of your leads to re-engage you, and you increase the number, your lead to appointment rate, instead of it being 50%, now you're jumping it to 60, 65, 70% lead to appointment, and then you're increasing your appointment show rate from 50% to now, again, 60, 65, 70% of your appointments are actually showing up. Look at the immediate impact you just had on your sales, because once you're at the store, they're yours to lose at that point. So again, everybody that uses them, everyone that starts doing them, they just rave about it. It's such an immediate impact. They get such great positive feedback from the customer. So it's worth it. Yes, like I said, it can be time consuming. There can be a lot of variables into why you don't want to do it, but you can make it easy. As I mentioned before, there's mobile apps out there that you can use. That will at least cut out some of the time. You still have to walk out and find the car, you know, check out the keys and find the car and move the vehicle and so on and so on. But at least when from once you're done, you can text or email right there from the mobile app. You don't have to come back in. Now, a lot of dealerships don't want their salespeople or their BDC sending out the email that way. They want it to. It has to go from the CRM. Well, in that case, you come back in, you upload it, and you send it out via the CRM. But that custom voiceover feature that we talked about earlier is a great way to take out a lot of the time. If you already have the video, if you're shooting the walk-arounds for your VDP pages, you already got the video. You don't have to walk out to the same car and reshoot a video every time. From the comforts of your office, you pull up the existing video, you watch the video play, you talk about you personalize your message. You say the exact same things you would say if you were standing out in the heat by the car talking, to the shopper. You say the same things. You're still talking to the shopper. And once you're done, you click it, you grab the URL, you save it, you grab the URL, you drop it in your CRM, and you send it. It's a fraction of the time that it takes to walk out and do the personalized walk around every time, but it's identical to the video if you did. But even better, when you're out there shooting your walk around video and you mess up, now you've got to redo the whole thing. So you got to shoot it again. You got to shoot it again. It may take you 3-4 attempts of the personalized walk around while you're out at the car. Where if you're sitting inside, you can do your 3-4 attempts in a fraction of the time than standing out on the lot doing it. And you pick the version you want. You click save. You grab the URL. You send it. So again, there's tons of different types of software that you can use that can remove the audio tracks, take the existing video, pull the audio track off, add your voice layer on it, personalize it, save the new video, grab the URL, and you're good to go. It's just a ton of time saver. So to kind of wrap everything up and let everybody get back to work again, if you're not doing the custom voiceover, make sure you use a gimbal and a wireless mic when you're out there doing your personalized walk-arounds. The quality of that video is just as important as the quality of that video on your VDP page, so you don't want to make that shopper seasick with your video bouncing up and down and going crazy on them. So make sure that if your salespeople are all doing them, make sure that they all have access to a stabilizer at a minimum, but hopefully a gimbal where they can get the best quality video as possible. Make sure you say the shopper's name so they know that this is special to them and that it is personalized to them. Obviously you want to answer any questions that they have, but at the same time you want to make sure that you're selling the appointment, that you're selling, come down here and visit me. Also, again, when you're answering the questions, don't just answer with what, here's a what answer. Answer with why that feature is important, why it's important to do this, why it's important that it's certified pre-owned, why it's important that it's Carfax one owner, why is it important that we have this value proposition, why is it important that the vehicle has this feature, how is that going to impact your life. So make sure you're really, it's really about why and selling the appointment. Another great idea that I've seen a handful of dealerships doing is putting a button on their website that says that has that call to action to request a personalized walk around. I think it's a great idea. What better place? You've got your other video on the VDP page already, but then you've got a nice big button right there that tells the shopper, hey, if you have any questions, request a personalized walk around, and we'll shoot you your own personalized video answering your questions. Great lead generator for you. Use the data from your personalized walk-arounds to again trigger alerts and messages. Even in your video emails, you can use the data of when the shopper's watching that video and know that they're watching it. You can receive an alert. You can receive a message. You can throw up a message on the video. If that shopper doesn't re-engage you, you send them the video email and they go back and they're looking on AutoTrader again, or they're looking on Cars.com again, you can receive an alert, knowing this time that it's Bob Smith if you've matched them in your CRM because that's who you sent the video email to. So use the data to your advantage. That is probably one of the biggest things. I don't want to call it a thing to come for the automotive industry because it's here. There's just so many companies that are using data and so many companies that aren't using data yet. And unfortunately, a lot of them that aren't using data yet are a lot of them that are core to a lot of your processes, a lot of your strategies right now. But they're coming along, and they're going to start using the data more and more and more as time continues to progress. But the things you can do with your data will just blow your mind, and it's not going to go backwards. It's going to continue to move forward with new things and new ways to use that data. Use a video landing page for your video emails, for your walkarounds, so that, again, you're selling yourself. You can have your personalized introduction video on there now. So it's you talking about you, really selling yourself to that shopper, making it a personal thing. Let them get to know you. Have your dealership's value proposition, some testimonial videos, and maybe even a similar vehicle video all right there, in addition to your personalized walk-around. So all just little tips that you can do to improve, once you have that good quality video, to improve additional eyeballs, the informational and emotional value of your video. And that's what it's all about. Having a great video content is one thing, but then really leveraging it and using that information and emotional value of that video that's where your money's at. And that's where your strategy really has to start evolving to as you continue to practice, because again, the number one way to shoot a video that doesn't suck is practice. So with that, I'll open it up to questions, and we'll go from there.
All right, that was a great presentation, Tim. I have a question here from Amy. How do you know the completion rate?
Well, if your video's on YouTube, you got to log in over at YouTube and go to your video, and they give you all your stats on your videos over there. If you're using a video host, they should provide that to you.
Okay. This is from Steven. Tim, you talk about VDP pages with video. CarGG doesn't have video. AutoTrader videos are like Finding Waldo. Car.com used to be prominent, but are not anymore. Craig's doesn't allow. Only Dealer Site and eBay make video easily viewable. Please comment on how the industry doesn't properly support this effort.
Well, it's kind of what I was just talking about, in that, unfortunately, a lot of the strategies that are core to you right now are still living a little bit in the past and haven't really evolved to maximize the data, really the video itself, or the use of the data from the videos. But they will continue to move in that direction. Meanwhile, there's a lot of other ones, a lot of newer companies that have emerged over the last 6, 9, 12 months, maybe 24 months, that are more focused around being able to leverage video better and utilize the data better. And it'll continue to improve, but a lot of it is also, evolves around how you're trying to get it there. There are people who do struggle in getting video content to certain video or certain marketing touch points, and there are people who have strategies about getting video content and large volumes of video content to various touch points. So, I don't want to make this about Flick Fusion. I really want it to be about the strategy, but I mean, without question, that's probably one of the biggest values of our platform, is that we have a way of getting video on a lot of places where a lot of other people can't. And we can get a lot of video there. We can get it integrated together and working together, and get it on landing pages, and a lot of time, a lot of money invested into trying to help you know, the thousands of dealers that are using our platform get eyeballs on the video. That's where your money's at. It's got to be seen. So, yeah, there's a lot of truth to that statement, but it's getting better, and you'll continue to see it get better.
Okay. Michael would like to know what you recommend to use to edit the videos together.
Well, there again, I'm just as when talking hardware, I'm hesitant to recommend any specific software because there's a lot of it out there. Corel has some, Windows. I mean, there's a free version on your computer probably right now. Same with the Macs. You know, most of them come with some kind of a free editing software on them right now. So, how much editing you want to do, how intricate you want to get, could influence how much money you want to spend on video editing equipment, video editing software. But there are various programs out there that that make it pretty easy.
Okay. Hey, JP, I'm not crystal clear on what your question is. It says, can you have this information available? What you can do is please send me an email, and I'll make sure to get whatever information that you wanted. I'll get with Tim, and we'll get that question answered for you. Another thing I'd like to, and then while we're on that point, another thing I'd like to bring up for everybody is, if you're not a member of AutoSuccess webinars on Facebook, please become one. It's a great place. You can go see past webinars there. You can interact with all the others that are on this phone call. I mean, I'm sure we have over 100 people on the call today that you're all at different degrees of trying to get better at video, and that's a place where you guys can interact as you're trying these new ideas you've got. You know, go to AutoSuccess webinars, share your successes, share your struggles, and hopefully we can all work together to be better at making video. Let's see. Okay, this is from Steven. I have to disagree with touchpoint's point, not on the send by Flick Fusion, but because the marketing providers fail. Does that make sense to you, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I don't think there's any debate on whether a lot of the touch points, a lot of critical touch points, a lot of core touch points for a lot of your marketing strategies have room to improve. I don't think there's any debate on that at all. So yeah, I mean, it's the voice of the dealer. You know, tell them they're not. I can say, you know, I'm one person. I can make phone calls and I can tell them all day long the improvements they need to make, but you're their customer, and the more you tell them the updates they need to make, the things that they need to be able to help you do with your video content, the more likely it is those changes are going to come sooner than later.
Okay. Well, actually, I've got one comment. Luz Del Carmen says, thank you for the information. I cannot wait to use these tips and techniques at our Harley-Davidson dealership. I think with that, we can close. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience, Tim?
Just, man, thank you, everybody, for hanging in there with me. I got a little long-winded. I know that's very unusual for me, but thank you for hanging in there and going over with us. And, you know, like Brian said, AutoSuccess is a great resource for you in sharing thoughts and ideas. And anytime you have questions about video, don't hesitate to reach out to us over here at Flick Fusion as well, because we're always happy to try to answer your questions. And a lot of times your thoughts, your ideas, your creativity is what really motivates us to continue to improve our platform to make things easier for you. So thank you for being here. Appreciate it, everybody.
All right. Well, hey, this is Brian with AutoSuccess. Thank you for coming. Please join us again. Tim, as always, great presentation. Go to AutoSuccess Webinars on Facebook to find future webinars. I hope you all have a great afternoon and try to stay cool.
Thanks, sir.